What if the biggest story in artificial intelligence right now isn't about the next groundbreaking model or a jaw-dropping new capability? What if it's about something far more fundamental who gets to decide the future of this world-changing technology? AI has truly shifted from an itchy corner of innovation to the absolute epicenter of global economic and political power. Models that generate text, images, and strategic insights now influence everything from business decisions to national security. And at the heart of this incredible transformation, we find OpenAI. But the buzz around OpenAI these past few weeks hasn't been about a new product or a dazzling technical feat. No, it's been about their internal governance. This isn't your typical tech drama. This discussion touches on safety, profit, public interest, and the ever-present balance of power between innovators, investors, and society at large. OpenAI kicked off with a genuinely unique structure. Imagining a non-profit foundation with a mission to ensure artificial general intelligence benefits all humanity, not just narrow commercial or political interests. Then, beneath that, a capped profit commercial arm, almost like a company that explicitly limits how much money can make for its investors. Think of it like a super-fast car with a deliberate speed limit on its profit potential, designed to keep it on a safe course for everyone. This hybrid model initially earned a lot of admiration, seen as a smart way to marry groundbreaking innovation with profound responsibility. But as OpenAI's models advanced at lightning speed and attracted colossal commercial demand, their influence ballooned. And with that influence came immense pressure. Investors wanted returns, partners demanded stability, and governments watched incredibly closely as OpenAI's systems became woven into critical workflows worldwide. Suddenly, governance, often a background detail for most companies, rocketed to the absolute center of strategic decision-making. We often focus on AI's capabilities, how fast it is, how accurate, how creative, how scalable. But governance, that determines how we deploy those capabilities, how we limit them, or how we expand them. Decisions about who sits on a board, who holds veto power, and how we weigh safety concerns can shape the entire trajectory of AI more decisively than any single technical upgrade. In OpenAI's case, these debates lay bare a fundamental tension. One side championing rapid development to stay ahead in this incredibly fierce AI race, and the other stressing extreme caution, warning that unchecked deployment could create systemic risks, everything from widespread misinformation to massive economic disruption. That tension, that tug-of-war, explains why these boardroom disputes echo far beyond the corporate world. At the very core of these recent discussions is the power of OpenAI's board. Unlike a traditional tech company board, this non-profit board was specifically designed to put long-term societal benefit above short-term profit. This gives them unusual authority, even over investors and executives. As the company's commercial value soared, questions inevitably surfaced: can this unique governance model truly last? Critics argue that these unclear lines of authority create instability, potentially discouraging long-term investment. But supporters firmly believe that strong, independent oversight is precisely what makes OpenAI different and, frankly, more trustworthy than purely profit-driven competitors. It's a classic innovator dilemma, but on a global scale. Safety versus speed. That's another persistent theme here. Advanced AI systems carry risks that are incredibly hard to quantify, things like unintended behaviors, potential misuse by malicious actors, and long-term societal impacts we frankly don't fully grasp yet. Advocates for cautious development insist that our governance mechanisms must be robust enough to slow down or even halt deployment if we don't meet strict safety thresholds. Once powerful AI systems are out in the wild, reversing course becomes almost impossible. On the flip side, proponents of rapid deployment warn that too much restraint could leave the field wide open for less responsible players. For them, leading in AI demands continuous iteration, with safety improvements integrated along the way, rather than slamming on the brakes. And it's not just tech nerds and investors watching. Governments around the world are paying very close attention. Policymakers are scrambling to develop regulatory frameworks for AI, and OpenAI's choices are directly influencing these efforts. Governments see OpenAI as both a standard setter and a crucial test case for how AI companies might self-regulate. If OpenAI can demonstrate effective internal oversight, regulators might lean towards more flexible, principles-based approaches. But visible governance instability that will only strengthen arguments for much stricter external controls. This dynamic explains why OpenAI board decisions are now dissected in policy circles, not just the tech media. From an investor's perspective, clarity in governance is absolutely critical for long-term planning. Developing AI requires colossal capital investment in computing infrastructure, top talent, and mountains of data. Investors need predictable decision-making structures that protect their interests while still enabling growth. But this is where the unique structure creates tension. OpenAI's capped profit model limits the financial upside, yet its technological leadership still represents monumental economic value. These governance disputes raise fundamental questions about how we balance financial returns with mission commitments, and whether these hybrid structures can scale indefinitely. Finally, OpenAI doesn't operate in a vacuum. It's an incredibly crowded and competitive environment, with major tech firms and well-funded startups racing to build comparable or even superior AI systems. In this context, governance decisions can either become competitive liabilities, slowing things down, or powerful advantages, reassuring partners and attracting the best talent. Prolonged internal conflict risks sluggish decision-making precisely when competitors are moving aggressively. This competitive pressure only intensifies the debate over whether OpenAI's original, altruistic governance model can truly adapt to this hyper-competitive phase of AI development. So, the surge in discussion and searches around OpenAI's governance reflects a broader awakening to the raw power of artificial intelligence. The question for all of us is no longer if AI will shape our future, but who will guide that shaping, and under what fundamental principles. OpenAI's internal debates have truly become a symbol of this crossroads. They illustrate that in the age of artificial intelligence, governance isn't just an administrative detail, it is a defining central force. Resolving these tensions will influence not only one organization's trajectory, but the very norms that govern AI development worldwide for years to come. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this complex topic. What do you think about the balance between safety and speed, or profit and purpose in AI? Let us know on social media or wherever you listen. And if you found this conversation insightful, please hit that subscribe button and share with a friend.